What if a single $12 billion decision could determine the future of America's food supply? Behind closed doors in Washington, a quiet struggle is unfolding, one that may change farming forever. At dawn, as golden light sweeps across the vast fields of America's heartland, the quiet hum of tractors and the rustle of wind through rows of corn and soybeans tell a story older than the nation itself. For generations, American farmers have fed the country and much of the world, shaping landscapes, powering economies, and anchoring the identity of rural communities. But behind this familiar beauty lies a struggle sharpened by rising costs, volatile markets, and geopolitical tensions. Now, as the U.S. prepares to unveil $12 billion Australian farm aid package, a new chapter is unfolding, one that may determine the future of America's most essential industry. In recent years, the pressures on American agriculture have intensified. Once stable global markets have shifted abruptly. Tariffs imposed by the United States triggered swift retaliatory actions from major trading partners, hitting key agricultural exports with force. Soybeans, long a pillar of U.S. farm income, suffered some of the steepest declines. Shipments to major buyers slowed dramatically, prices fell, storage bins filled with unsold grain. And for many farmers, the weight of shrinking demand collided with rising expenses in a way that threatened even generational family farms. Yet trade tensions were only part of the story. Across the country, farmers faced production costs climbing to new highs. Fertilizer, essential for nearly every crop in the American Midwest, reached some of its most expensive levels in years. Seed prices rose. Machinery repairs, once manageable, became a growing financial burden as supply chain disruptions sent replacement parts soaring. Every year, farmers prepared the soil, planted, weeded, watered, and harvested. But increasingly, the math no longer worked. Costs kept climbing. Revenues were unpredictable, and farms that had weathered decades of storms suddenly found themselves on uncertain ground. Against this backdrop, the federal government has crafted a $12 billion relief plan aimed at stabilizing those hardest hit. It is one of the most significant agricultural aid efforts in recent memory, and its implications stretch across economics, politics, and the personal lives of the families who make their living from the land. The largest portion of the package, approximately $11 billion, is directed at row crop farmers, the producers of soybeans, corn, wheat, cotton, rice, and other staples of the American agricultural system.
Wow.
These farmers have been at the epicenter of trade disruptions and falling commodity prices. To support them, the USDA has proposed the Farmer Bridge Assistance Program, a one-time payment system designed to help cover immediate operational needs. It is, by design, temporary, an attempt to give farmers breathing room as markets attempt to correct and as policymakers seek long-term trade solutions. The remaining $1 billion is allocated to support producers outside the traditional row crop sector, specialty crop growers, ranchers, and diversified farms that have faced parallel increases in input costs. While their challenges may differ, the cumulative effect of financial tightening across nearly every part of agriculture has made relief essential for preserving stability in rural economies. Federal farm assistance is not without precedent. Throughout modern history, the government has stepped in when markets have collapsed or when global crises have threatened the agricultural backbone of the country. But the announcement of this package carries deeper political context. Rural America is more than a landscape, it is a powerful constituency. And with trade tensions still shaping national economic policy, the $12 billion package also acts as a strategic measure, a signal to farmers that the administration recognizes their struggle and is seeking to offset the damage inflicted by international retaliation. Economists remain divided over the long-term effects. Supporters argue that farmers are collateral damage in a global trade dispute, and that aid is a necessary and fair buffer against consequences they did not choose. Critics caution that large federal payments risk masking deeper systemic vulnerabilities, distorting price signals, or creating dependence on government rescue. Yet both sides agree on one point. The current pressures facing farmers are unprecedented in scale and urgency. For farmers themselves, the package is not seen as a windfall, it is survival. Many operate on margins so slim that a drop of just a few dollars per acre can erase months of labor. A single delayed payment, a spike in fertilizer prices, or a stalled export contract can tilt a farm from profit to loss. Across the Midwest, the Plains, and the South, Farmers gather at kitchen tables or local cafes, flipping through spreadsheets, seed catalogs, and loan documents. For some, aid may cover the cost of seed for next spring. For others, it may help pay land rent or a loan installment that has become more burdensome as crop prices sink. Yet even with assistance on the horizon, uncertainty prevails. Aid packages buy time, not guarantees. Many farmers wonder whether global markets will rebound or whether new trade partners, such as those in South America or Australia, will seize the opportunity to capture long-term market share. Once lost, export markets are notoriously difficult to rebuild. Buyers shift supply chains slowly but deliberately, and relationships forged in times of scarcity can last long after tariffs fade. Beyond the farm gates, the broader economic landscape is deeply intertwined with agriculture's fortunes. U.S. crop exports influence global food prices, livestock feed markets, and even domestic grocery costs. When farm income falls, ripple effects touch equipment dealers, grain haulers, fertilizer companies, and rural banks. Stable agriculture has long acted as a ballast for the American economy, especially in times of inflationary pressure. But when that stability wavers, the consequences extend far beyond rural borders. The $12 billion aid package, then, is more than a financial transfer. It is a strategic decision aimed at protecting not just farmers, but the economic ecosystems that depend on them. It is also a hedge against global uncertainty. As trade alliances shift and geopolitical rivalries deepen, agriculture becomes both a bargaining chip and a battleground. Ensuring the resilience of the American farm sector is as much a national security concern as it is an economic priority. Still, the future remains unclear. Climate challenges continue to reshape planting seasons. Rapid technological change brings both promise and cost. Competition from foreign producers grows fiercer each year, and the global economy more interconnected than ever adds layers of complexity to every decision made in Washington and every seed planted in the fields. Yet despite these pressures, one truth endures. The resilience of American farmers has been tested time and time again. Through droughts, floods, recessions, and global upheavals, they have adapted, endured, and rebuilt. The $12 billion package may serve as a bridge across troubled water. But it is the determination of the people working these fields that will define what lies ahead. As the sun sets over the farmland, the machinery rests and the wind settles. The problems of the day do not disappear, but neither does the resolve. For in every furrow etched into the soil, and every crop tended with care, there is the quiet persistence that has always guided American agriculture. And now, with new support on the way, farmers prepare once again to face an uncertain future, armed with the hope that tomorrow will bring a better season.